family and friends were gathered here united in the tragic loss of Joseph Black. Joe was a well-known member of our community, and the suddenness of his death has left us all shocked and stunned at the unfairness of life. Joe was a man of the people, friendly, outgoing, well-liked, respected by all who knew him. He was a generous man and could be depended upon to give his money and his time wherever needed. It is right and fitting that we should gather here in this church where Joe and Eleanor were married and their sons were christened.
Yes, this is where we were married. Love's young dream. He was all I ever wanted. Handsome, athletic, romantic. We met at school. He was captain of the football team and I was head girl of our year. We got engaged on Valentine's Day. He bought me a dozen red roses and hid the ring in them. He always bought me red roses. He knew I loved them and I loved him. Our wedding was wonderful. My dress was beautiful. I was a princess and he was my prince. I carried a dozen red roses for my bouquet.
Joe and Eleanor's family was complete with the birth of their twins. Before long, they moved to the outskirts of the village, away from the hustle and bustle. It was ideal for them.
I wonder if Dad could hear what they said about him. He would have liked it. He told me it was important that people liked you. He didn't want us to talk about what happened at home when we were in school. Said it was private. But I told my teacher once, my dad brings my mum red roses all the time.
I'll never have a boss like him again. He was great to work for. I wish my boyfriend was good as him at showing he cared. He phoned her about 4 times every day. She's a lucky woman to have had him. My boyfriend thinks he's doing well. A bunch of flowers at the garage. She could get 3 dozen red roses some weeks. Goodbye, Joe.
Joe was such a valued member of the community. Member of the Parents Association, chairman of the golf club, coached the school football team, and a member of the running club. At this point, John Smith, Joe's best friend, since school days, will say a few words.
Today is one of the saddest days of my life. This is one event I wish I wasn't attending. I'm saying goodbye to my best friend Joe. Myself and Joe grew up together. We did everything together. We had some great times that I'll forever cherish. I was best man at his wedding and I was a godfather to his 4 wonderful children. It is a sad day to be celebrating his life because we're 20 years too early. Eleanor, I speak on behalf of all your friends when I say we'll be here for you, whatever you need.
What we're going to do? Dad did everything. For all of us. He had to do everything. He was king in our castle. He liked to look after us. He didn't want Mum doing things for herself. He was scared something would happen to her. He liked her to be at home with us, safe, where he could watch her. He always brought her red roses.
I was a trophy wife. Everything had to be perfect for him. Kids perfect, house immaculate, Joe's perfect life. When Elaine went to nursery and I wanted to get back to work, they were short of nurses at the hospital. I could do a couple of nights, sleep when I got the kids off to school and nursery. I had it all worked out.
Joe lived his life to the full and enjoyed every day of it.
God, how long can he go on? I'm glad I've got this veil to hide my face. Who is this man he's talking about? I feel like asking David to open the lid and see if it is really his dad in there. He's not talking about the Joe we know. Joe the dictator. Do this, do that, do it now, do it right.
He gave a lot of his time and energy to other people, and he was also a devoted member of his family.
He was always that cheery, but I heard him. You could hear everything in these houses, him shouting, ordering her about. Well, you never know a man till you stay with them. I seen her that time. I saw what he did to her face. Awful. and that was after she'd been laid up for a week. She told me she banged into something, but I wanted to tell her I'd heard. But you don't like to come between man and wife. Seen him twice that week with bunches of red roses.
I waited until the kids were in bed. I made him his coffee and cuddled up to him to tell him all my plans. I was so excited I didn't even notice how quiet he was, but I noticed his fist right between my eyes. He only said 3 words.
Under no circumstances.
How could I have been so stupid? Me, staff nurse Eleanor, top of the school. I crawled to my bed, shattered. Next morning he brought me tea in bed, told me to have rest, said I needed to stay in bed, I must be getting the flu. He told the kids Mummy wasn't well. He'd look after them just fine. I couldn't even cry when I saw the mess in the mirror. He brought me a dozen red roses.
I think the flower shop will go out of business now. He was our best customer. 2, sometimes 3 times every week he came in. Always the same order, whatever time of year. A dozen red roses, dark red. I used to kid him when he wouldn't get in without them, as though they were an entry ticket. Strange his wife never ordered any flowers today. We would have made a fortune. Just a dozen red roses. They must have had a secret meaning.
With these final thoughts, will you please stand as Joe is carried to the hearse for his last journey? The family invite you to join them at the King's House Hotel after the cremation. And thank you all for coming and for all your cards and support over the last few days. Thank you.
Goodbye, Joe. Take the last 2 days with you.